Does it feel so good to be able to do that? Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APWSPORTS signing in, and welcome back to another episode of Chicago Bears Weekly, Season 5, Episode 5. Happy Easter to you guys out there. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Make sure you celebrate with your family and enjoying this day. But as we all know, the Chicago Bears have a draft coming around the corner. The NFL draft is in less than 2 weeks. And in today's episode, it's time to do another revisionist of Bears history. And in today's episode, since we have the draft coming around, it made me think, what are some of the biggest Bears flops that they've ever had in a draft? So in today's video, we're going to cover the 5 biggest busts that the Chicago Bears have ever drafted in franchise history. Now, of course, there was really not any much Bears news. The situation has been light. So it is time to revisit the biggest bust in Bears history. But before I do any of that, make sure you guys leave this video a like, because that helps this channel to grow and it beats the YouTube algorithm. And if you are a first-time viewer of the channel and you enjoy football content, make sure you click that subscribe button and notification bell, because that also helps this channel to grow. But let's just dive into this episode. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me with my music and she look a little prouder.
Coming in at number 5 on this list of biggest Bears draft busts is Cedric Benson. Cedric Benson was an All-American coming out of Texas heading into the 2005 NFL Draft, having rushed for 1,834 yards and 19 touchdowns during his senior season with the Texas Longhorns. Despite the signing of Thomas Jones in the 2004 offseason, the Chicago Bears still felt that they needed more at the running back position. It went with Cedric Benson in the first round of the 2005 draft at number 4 overall. The Bears had hope that he can join the list of great running backs in Bears history. Instead of that, the Bears got disappointment during his 3 years with the franchise. Cedric Benson never eclipsed the 1,000-yard mark during his career and struggled with injuries and inconsistent play during his Bears tenure. He was eventually released after the 2007 season, but unfortunately, Cedric Benson passed away in 2019. Rest in peace to Cedric Benson. Coming in at number 4 on this list is Kevin White. Kevin White, heading into the 2015 NFL Draft, was coming off of a stellar 1,447-yard, 10-touchdown season during his senior year at West Virginia. One of the top receiver prospects heading into the draft, along with Amari Cooper, the Bears had a need at the wide receiver position after trading Brandon Marshall to the Jets in that offseason. So with the need at wide receiver for the Bears, they ended up taking Kevin White 7th overall in that draft. But nothing ever materialized during his Chicago Bears career. White missed his entire rookie season after suffering a stress fracture to his shin that required surgery during training camp. After playing in the first 4 games of the next year in 2016, White suffered a fractured fibula in the same leg, which cost him his entire rookie year, and that fracture ended up costing him the rest of the 2016 season. Kevin White started the 2017 season opener versus the Atlanta Falcons, but ended up fracturing his left shoulder blade during that game, and it cost him the rest of that 2017 season. In the 2018 season, Kevin White ended up playing in 9 games, but was extremely ineffective, and the Bears ended up not bringing him back after his 4 injury-filled seasons with the franchise. Kevin White played in 14 games, catching 25 passes for 285 yards and not a single touchdown. And up to this point, as we stand right now, Kevin White has still not scored a single NFL touchdown during his NFL career. Coming in at number 3 on this list is CADE mcnown. CADE mcnown was one of the top 5 quarterback prospects heading into the 1999 NFL Draft after having stellar junior and senior seasons while at UCLA, including throwing for 3,470 yards with 25 touchdowns to 11 interceptions during his senior season. The Bears were looking for an upgrade at the quarterback position, so they selected Cade McNown 12th overall in the 1999 NFL Draft. He was the last quarterback out of the top 5 taken. Those top 5 quarterbacks included Tim Couch, Donovan McNabb, Akili Smith, and Dante Culpepper. McNown started off on a bad foot, holding out most of the 1999 training camp before signing a $22 million contract. McNown didn't make his first start until Week 5 against the Vikings. McNown would go on to start 5 more games during his rookie year, throwing for 1,465 yards, 8 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. The next year in 2000, we'll see more struggles for Cade McNown, with the Bears going 1-8 during his 9 starts during the year, with him throwing for 1,646 yards with 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. The Bears ended up cutting ties with Cade McNown during the 2001 preseason, trading him to the Miami Dolphins, and after that, Cade McNown will not throw another pass as a NFL quarterback. Number 2 on this list goes to Curtis Enis. Drafted a year prior to Cade McNown, Enis was expected to be the next great Bears running back after having back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at Penn State, which included 19 touchdowns in 1997. Having believed that he would be a great NFL running back, the Bears ultimately drafted Curtis Enis 5th overall in the 1998 NFL Draft. Enis, like McNown after him, held out of most of training camp and the preseason in 1998. Enis played in 9 games during his rookie year, but he only started 1 before tearing his ACL, ending his rookie season. Things started to look promising in his second year in 1999, seeing him play in 15 games with 12 starts, rushing nearly for 1,000 yards with 916, but he only had 3 touchdowns during that season. The year 2000 was a huge disappointment with injuries and poor productions when Curtis Enis was in the lineup. During that 2000 year, Curtis Enis was eventually replaced by James Allen, and he began to be utilized in a fullback role. He was eventually let go after the 2000 year, and after that, at the young age of 24, Curtis Enis was forced into retirement after discovering a degenerative condition in his left knee. And the biggest bust in Chicago Bears history goes to Mitchell Trubisky. Despite only having 1 full season as a starter at the University of North Carolina, throwing for 3,748 yards with 30 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, he, along with Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, were the top-rated quarterbacks heading into the 2017 NFL Draft. Despite the offseason signing of quarterback Mike Glennon to a 3-year, $45 million deal, the Bears still believed in the Trubisky so much that they moved up 1 spot ahead of the San Francisco 49ers at 3 overall to move to 2nd overall to select Mitchell Trubisky in 2017. He showed some flashes during his 12 starts during his rookie season with 2,195 yards, 7 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. He was the starter in his second year in 2018, which turned out to be his best season in the NFL, throwing for 3,223 yards, 24 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, and he ended up leading the Bears to a 12-4 record in the NFC North Division Championship. The 2019 season for Trubisky saw him play most of that year with damage in his non-throwing shoulder, and he ended up struggling, throwing for 3,130 yards, 17 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. 2020 will be his last season with the Chicago Bears after being benched in favor of newly acquired quarterback Nick Foles. He did eventually regain a starting role after a Nick Foles injury, helping the Bears regain their playoff status and make it for a second time during his time as a Chicago Bear. The Bears ended up not renewing his 5th-year option in his rookie contract, so he ended up signing with the Buffalo Bills, and now Mitchell Trubisky is now a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though Mitchell Trubisky's failures as a Chicago Bear were a deeper issue and it was part of a deeper problem, I do have a video on this channel that covers Mitchell Trubisky's entire career as a Chicago Bear, and why he ended up being such a draft bust, and why his career as a Chicago Bear ended up being a failure. That concludes Season 5, Episode 5 of Chicago Bears Weekly, diving into the 5 biggest draft busts that the Chicago Bears have ever had in franchise history. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, as that helps the channel grow, beats the algorithm. Comment your thoughts about the episode down below, and click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. Once again, happy Easter to you guys. APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.